It's the 12th of August and I'm back down the allotment this morning. I've just finished clearing the potato bed, the first one, the one I started yesterday. I've dug up a load more sarpomeras. They've done incredibly well. I've got a big box here which I will show you in a minute. It's much bigger than the box I had yesterday and it's already half full. So I do have another bed there and a few more up there, but I think that's enough digging for one day. I might come back to some more a little bit later on, but I just, because I said to you yesterday, if I found any that were rather bizarre or, you know, large, then I would show you. And the very last potato that I dug up is my largest so far. It's not bigger than the one I grew last year, which was £1 15.9 ounces, and that was huge if you remember. But this one is a good size, so I'm going to weigh it when I get home. Before I show you that one, I'm going to show you a few others. Most of them are sort of, you know, good size. I've got quite a few jacket sized ones, but there are really hardly any piddly little diddly squit ones. I've got one with an extra little knob on it, and I've got one that looks like a snowman because it starts big and then it goes in and then it's the body and then its little head. It's down there somewhere. But this is my largest one so far, okay, which I'm really quite pleased with. It's nearly the length of up to my little finger. Yes, that's the largest one so far. I did clip it with the fork actually just there, but that's fine. I'll use that one first. If you do have any that you dig up that have blemishes on them, make sure you use them first because they won't store very well. Only store the perfect ones. But that's the largest so far. When I dig up any of the others, if I do come across some bigger ones, then I will let you know. But I think now we need to go and have another look at the beetroot. Now here is the line of beetroot. You may remember that just before I went on holiday, so about 3 weeks ago, I actually harvested some just to see how they were doing. They have grown massively since I did that first picking, and I noticed this one yesterday. I need to show this one to you. It's enormous. Anyway, I'm going to pull it up actually. Because I've never quite had a beetroot quite this size before. Oh look, it's split underneath, but that doesn't matter. There it is. Ooh, I hope you can see that. Size of my palm. It's really quite large. It's very easy to harvest beetroot. You just go along, just move the soil just to check it's the size you want it. Then take hold of the leaves as low down as possible and then give it a quick wiggle and a pull, and it should come up very, very easily. So I'm going to go along this line very thoroughly, pull up any beetroots that are ready, and when I have pulled them up, then I will show you what I've got. That is blemish free. Isn't that amazing? Well, I'll be back with you in a minute when I've pulled up a load of beetroot. Right, these are the ones, the beetroot that I've just harvested. They're ready, beetroot are ready to harvest whatever size you want to pick them. It's not like you've got to wait for them to get ripe. So if you want to pick them when they're small like this, then they are ready. Otherwise you can just wait for them to get slightly bigger. Just make sure that you harvest them before the centre shoots up and it goes to seed, because as soon as that starts to happen, then you'll find that it will get really woody inside, and they just don't taste very nice at all. It's like when a radish goes woody. I've taken some small ones because there were quite a few clumped together, and if you do have quite a few clumped together, you remove a few and then it gives the other ones a bit more space to expand. But this is the best year I have had for beetroot by far ever, I think. You can see that they are all really lovely beetroot. There's a few that have sort of split underneath, but generally speaking, yeah, that one I'm gonna have to sort that one out quite quickly, but generally they are just absolutely gorgeous. These are Chioggia, so they've got the pink and the white ring in them, but I am very, very proud of those. Now here I've sown a row of black radish. I actually harvested one yesterday, and they're really hot. So let me show you them. Now you harvest these in the same way as you would harvest any other radishes, where you just sow them about a quarter of an inch, half an inch in a little trough, and then just let them grow. Now, to know when they're done, the best thing to do is to move the leaves and just move a little bit of soil round them. And if they're wide enough, then just pull them up. Now these are black radishes. They're not fat radishes. They're sort of about 1.5 inches long, and they're about half an inch wide. So they're not huge radishes. Obviously, like the beetroot, if they start to go to seed, then they get really woody inside, so you can't eat them. So it's always best when you sow radishes to sow one line, and then about a month later sow another little short line, and then you'll be able to eat them and you won't waste them. So when you harvest them, you just grab all the leaves and then just gently wiggle and pull, and it should come up. Now there's one. They are black on the outside, but on the inside they are white. So I'll go along and I'll harvest as many as I can, and then I'll show you when I've got them. Right, well, I said I sowed a line of black carrots. It was only when I was pulling them up, I remembered that I actually sowed some black radish and some white radish in the same line. I sort of sprinkled them together. Now these are the black radish here, as you can see. There they are. Some are smaller than others, but again, if you take some of the small ones up, and it gives the other ones in that little group a little bit more space to expand. This is a lovely one here. They do look quite rough on the outside, and in fact they feel quite rough on the outside, but they are lovely to eat. I had one last night and I just topped and tailed it, gave it a quick wash, and then chopped it up into slices, and they are very hot. And there is one white radish. It seems to have 3 legs. But there you go. So that's my first ever white my first ever white radish. So that's really good. Now also in this bed here I've got some rocket, which is ready to harvest, and I've also got some carrots. I haven't harvested any carrots yet, but I've just had a quick look at 1 or 2 of these, and they seem to be nearly ready. So let's harvest the first carrots of the year. Now in this line here, all the way up here, I've got some carrots. There's carrots here, and then I had some spaces, and I actually grew some rocket in between. This has actually gone to seed, this one, because you can see it's got some flowers on the top, but some of the other rocket hasn't, which I'll show you in a minute. But let's just look at this carrot down here. Okay, this carrot down here, sorry, excuse the weeds, there are quite a few, is ready to harvest, this one. You know when your carrots are ready to harvest, just get your finger and just run your finger round the outside, the top of the carrot, and if it looks a good size, then you might as well harvest it. It doesn't matter what size you harvest your carrots. If you want them smaller, then harvest them sooner, but if you want them to grow a little bit bigger, then just leave them in. Now if your soil is nice and soft, you should hopefully be able to just pull up the carrot without any problems. If however your soil is quite solid, if you haven't had much rain, then you're going to have to get the fork in there, and if you do have to get the fork in there, make sure you get it about 1.5 inches away from the carrot itself. Push it down as far as it will go, pull the fork back, and then the carrot should lift out. So I'll try, oh, this one's coming, and just pull this one out. I can't remember what varieties these were. I think these were the little round ones actually. I grew so many different varieties, but there is my first carrot of the year. So I'm sure this was a little round one. I grew so many different varieties. So I've got carrots all over the place. So I'm going to go and harvest a load of carrots, and when I've done that, then I'll show you what I've managed to get. Right, well, I've just harvested a few carrots. Pull your carrots up as and when you need them, but make sure that you've got them all up before your first frost in your area. Now, I can't remember the variety of some of the orange ones because I grew so many. So let me just show you them. These are the orange ones that I've got. Different variety, oh not that one. Different varieties. You can see there's some of them are slightly different colours. We've got some lovely bizarre shaped ones there, but then of course we would because I've grown them. And they taste so much better when they've got wonky legs and an extra little bit sticking out. So there's some of the orange ones. They're really good. There's a couple of holes in this one, just a couple of nibbly holes. So apart from that, there doesn't seem to be any marks on them from carrot fly, which is good. These are the yellow ones. These are called Yellowstone. I know that because they're the only yellow ones I grew. So we've got some little small ones here, some middly ones with the wonky bit, obviously, and a couple of really long ones. I'm so pleased with these. In fact, this one here, I actually pulled the leaves off because it went down so far. That's got to be about 10 inches long, that one. So yes, they're really good, and none of these seem to have any blemishes on them either, which is good. And I pulled up a few purple ones as well. There we are. I love the wonky ones. You know, they're just great, aren't they? You roast them, they're fabulous. They all taste the same. So we've got a short stumpy one with 3 little bits on it, and a shorter one there, and a nice good sized one there. There is a little split in this one because it obviously got a lot of rain at one point and split. But apart from that, there are no blemishes on those either. So this is the first lot of carrots. Once we've eaten these, then I will harvest some more, and I will gradually go on like that until they're either all dug up, or I'll make sure that they're all up by the first frost, and for me that will be about the middle to the end of October. But let's harvest some rocket now. Right, well, this is the rocket here. I've got a lovely little line of it. Don't grow too big a line because it'll then all be ready together and you won't be able to eat it before it goes to seed. Now what I do with rocket is I just pick off the leaves. So just go work your finger down the stem and then just use your thumb, your nail on your thumb onto your finger, and just pinch it off like that. Okay, so just go along and take as much as you need, and then these will go in a salad. Rocket is lovely. It's got that sort of peppery flavour to it, and if you're just taking the leaves like this, then it will produce more and more and more, and hopefully keep going for quite a long time. Okay, well, here's my little bunch of rocket. I'll take that home. In fact, actually, I'm going to have some to eat. If there are a few little holes in it, don't worry, just give it a quick wash and then it will be fine. It's very easy to grow. In fact, it's so easy to grow. Just sow a line and then about 4 weeks later sow another line, and keep doing that all the way through the summer. That's really nice. It's really quite spicy, quite peppery, but oh god, it's so much nicer than the flavourless lettuce that you buy in the supermarket. That is absolutely brilliant. I'm very, very pleased with that. Now I'm going to do one more thing this morning. We're going to have a quick look in the greenhouse. Some of the bindweed seems to have taken over, but we're gonna look past all of that and we're going to look at the tomatoes and all the other bits in there and see how they're getting on. Right, as you can see, the greenhouse isn't as tidy as I would want it to be. The bindweed seems to be taking over. I can't seem to get rid of this blasted stuff, but we have some goodies in here. We have lots of tomatoes ready. In fact, I have lots of tomatoes ready in the greenhouse at home as well. So these are some of the little bush ones. So you know when your tomatoes are ready because of not only the colour, but when you push them, they're soft. If they're not ripe, then there's no give in them. They're still quite hard. Obviously it's easy to tell when your red tomatoes or your yellow tomatoes or the purple tomatoes are ready, because obviously they change colour. But when you come to the green ones, it's always like the zebra ones. It's quite difficult to tell because obviously they're green when they're unripe and then they're green when they're ripe. So you need to just give them a slight push, and if there's some give in them, then they're ready. Now when you take your tomatoes off, you just, if you look here, I hope you can see that because there's a bit of a shade there, you can see the top of the tomato and then it goes onto the stem. Now there's a little point here which we call the knuckle, and you just tip that the other way and it just pops off. Okay, so that's one. Got quite a few in here to do. If you can see, the stem comes up here, then there's like a little joint, there's a little joint just here, and you just push it against it and it should just pop off like that. Okay, so that's the tomatoes. I will go round and I'll do more of the tomatoes when I've finished showing you around. Now this is one of the melons here. We've had lots of flowers, but none of the fruit seems to have set at the moment. There still is time, but we'll see. And then finally the little aubergine, it is coming up, but it's still not very big. We are not going to get anything from that this year, but anyway, we'll see. Now over here, in amongst all this bindweed, we have got the cucumbers, the Spanish cucumbers, and if we look under here, there's one there. It's creating quite a shade at the moment actually, so I hope it's quite dark, so I hope you can see okay. There's one there which is not quite ready yet, it needs to be a little bit longer, and I did spy another one, but I can't. Oh, there it is. There it is. Here he is. Can you see him? Just here. There's another one just there. Now he's nearly ready, and there's another one actually just behind him there. They're not quite ready. Oh, there's another one up the top. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to pick one of those. I'll come back to you in a sec, and I'll show you the cucumber. Right, well, I did pick those 3 cucumbers. I thought, well, sod it. I'll pick them and then hopefully it'll encourage more to grow. There are lots of other little flowers on there as well. These are the Spanish ones, and you must remember to peel them because the skins are quite bitter. You don't really want them, to be honest with you, much bigger than that. It's about 1, 2, 3, about 5 inches long, this one. You don't really want them much bigger than that actually. Maybe 6 inches maximum, but that's about the right width. If they do get too big, then the seeds inside get too big. But I also harvested a load more tomatoes. There's quite a few that are nearly done, which will be ready in a couple of days. I came across one that seems to have been nibbled by something. Seems to have taken a lot of the skin off. I'm not quite sure what that is. Most probably a mouse, I would imagine. But there's some nice big ones there from the tall ones. These are either Moneymaker or they're either Shirley. I'm not quite sure. But it's all doing really well in the greenhouse. Right, well, I think that will be it for today. I'm I'm getting quite hungry and it's very hot actually down here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick some more French beans because I didn't manage to pick all of them yesterday. So I'll pick some more of those and then I think I'll go home. But a very good morning. All sorts of things I've harvested and I'm just so chuffed with everything really, to be honest with you. I didn't think this year was going to be excellent because it didn't start off particularly well, but it seems to be doing really well. So I'm very, very pleased. Well, I hope you found what I've shown you useful, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.